man, almost forgot to play this today. Hey there guys, name's Fen, playing some broken Triad. Let's see where I left off. Got a bunch of objectives. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember I was going to do a bunch of optional stuff that I kind of forgot about because I was all wrapped up in the plot. But first, I guess I'll go here. What is that little mark on the wall? Oh, well. I see. Huh. Well, now things are getting a good deal eerier. But not eye-ear. Whoa. Huh. What's going on?
What was that?
Narsal. For some reason, it's pronounced Narsal, as if there was no Y. I don't know why, but anyway. Oh, and I haven't even seen one of these guys yet. What's spoilers and stuff? Oh yes, good. This'll be the reading the text episode, won't it? Well, that's pretty good looking stuff. Let's get it over with. The loose pages, these loose pages are the second part of a transcribed correspondence between two merchants. With the help of the island's natives, we hauled a couple of crates from the ship and transported them into the city. We set up our boxes at what appeared to be the marketplace. It didn't take long for curious folks to gather around us and inspect the goods we had brought with us. They were unusually enthralled by the most mundane trinkets and readily traded their jewelry for it. No doubt this was a merchant's dream, and for a while we stopped worrying about not knowing where we were. Whoops. Yeah. The sounds of engaged barter abruptly subsided when someone from the back barked a few harsh-sounding words. The crowd reverently made way for an elderly man who promptly stepped forward. From the garments he was wearing, I assumed he was some sort of nobleman or priest. He eyeballed us with a remarkably sour and disapproving look, and then proceeded to examine the content of the crates. It occurred to me that trading with strangers could be against some law of theirs, and I already expected the old man to forbid any further dealings with us. However, when he opened the lid of the last box, his eyes widened in apparent surprise. Whatever he had spotted in there, it made him slam the lid shut and leave with a puzzled expression. As soon as he was out of earshot, the crowd resumed looking through our wares as if nothing had happened. The sun had already disappeared behind the buildings when we received an invitation to speak with somebody who could help pinpoint our current location. An enticing woman clad in gleaming golden tissues led us into a towering building that equally reminded me of a palace and a crypt. Inside, we were seated at a long stone table that was so low we had to sit on floor cushions. Style over substance. Two servants provided us with cups of sweet-tasting wine while we were waiting for the host to arrive. Oldest trick in the book. And this is where my memory becomes murky. Oldest trick in the book. The next thing I remember, I found myself and the crew on the White Squid, along with the rowing boats back in place. The sails were all set, and the ship's wheel was held in place by ropes. The sea surrounded us, and there was no trace of any island in sight. Neither the men who had been on the island with me, nor those who had stayed on the ship, possessed any recollection of what had happened. I started to doubt we had really found an inhabited island, but a look into the hold was enough to dismiss my notion of a mass hallucination. The crates were filled with every last piece of jewelry we had obtained on the island. The only thing I found missing was a decorative warhammer which, unsurprisingly, had been in the very crate that old man had found a curious interest in. To our luck, the stars made sense again, and we soon discovered that we were on a perfect course back to the city's harbor. I can only guess why the island's natives bid us farewell like this. Despite their friendliness, they were wary of strangers and likely didn't want us to return or bring other people with us. And then, while sailing home, something astonishing dawned on me. The decorations and trinkets I had seen on the island had felt familiar to me for a reason. They were precursor. I do not understand how precursor culture reached this secluded island and managed to survive much longer than the people of Careth Din. They must have left their capital city ages ago, before the cataclysm buried it under tons of stone, during a time when shipbuilding was still in its infancy. How they constructed a vessel that could sail this far is a mystery to me. If you had been there and seen it with your own eyes, you'd understand why I have to find this island again, even after all these years. If you want to come with me, you have time to decide until next Sunday. Then I'll set the sails of the White Squid and search for this island. Captain Danko.
But then, it's off to bed.
Okay, well, that was stuff. I feel like Nathan Explosion in that bonus feature of the DVD where it's like, I'm gonna read Shakespeare without just in one take. Anyway. Yeah. Although you don't remember writing any of this, you can't help but recognize your own handwriting. I do not know how much longer I can endure this inner struggle. Each night is the same. With sleep there comes the shadow. A demon that calls himself Narsal takes control over my body to still his murderous lust. And each night I regain consciousness in the cellar, sometimes with dark blood on my hands, and sometimes with a fresh head stuck on a spike. During these short periods of clarity, I know what is happening to me. I've tried leaving messages to warn myself, but no matter what I do, hours later I wake up in my bed, unaware of what has happened. I've smeared warnings on the bedroom walls, but Narsal's influence makes me oblivious to them. I tried to leave this book next to the bed, but I never find any text in it because the written pages were ripped out and burned. The demon is mocking my feeble attempts at alerting myself. I think he even made me leave a message with my name on it in the inventor's tower, simply for his amusement. Damn it. I was gonna show that before this thing spoiled it all. Anyway, although Narsal sleeps during daytime and lets me be my normal self, his grip remains firmly around me. I bullied a curator into helping me to gain access to the museum, and yesterday I killed her. I am not sure how and when this started, but the sword must be an important part of it. I pulled Zedormikost out of an altar in the depths of the catacombs below Farrington Manor, and I used it to destroy the Book of Souls. Did this set the demon free? I tried to destroy the sword, but only when Narsal awakens in me can I penetrate its shield of fire and take it away from the cellar. The demon wields Zedormikost to decapitate his victims, and with each murder the sword's glow shifts more and more to a deep red. How can I stop this fiend from gaining power over me? Each passing night makes me weaker, and I fear that it won't be long until the demon is strong enough to remain awake during daytime as well. I am fighting a losing battle. If only the keepers would find me, I have a feeling they'd know what to do. Really? Really? Bloody hell. Personal notes of Akrab, 7th Mage of the Dawn. I am now certain that the circumstances which made me Zedormikost's owner were not at all fortuitous. 3 months ago I was on a mission to gather information about Deloran's Horn when I stayed overnight at an inn not far from the city. In the middle of the night I was yanked out of my sleep when somebody violently knocked against the door of my room. Before I could even get out of bed, the door was forced open, and a heavily breathing giant of a man was towering over me. He was armed with a peculiar sword, and even in the half-darkness I could see the frantic madness in his eyes. "Where's the book?" he asked with a hoarse voice. I was unable to speak, and I could only watch in horror as he raised the sword over his head. "Where is the book?" he asked again, making it clear his blade would answer if I did not. Realizing I could not manage to utter a single word, I closed my eyes, awaiting the sword's blow. But it did not come. Instead, I heard a gurgling sound followed by something heavy dropping to the floor. When I dared to open my eyes again, I saw the man lying at the foot of my bed, his head resting several inches away from his motionless body. On the bed, directly in front of me, lay the sword as if it were presented to me on a plate. Not a single drop of blood stained its blade. Without thinking, I grabbed the weapon, and the moment I touched its hilt, a strong feeling of purpose overcame me. I immediately knew the sword had a name, and that there was a tale behind it. I collected my belongings, and left the inn in a hurry. To this day I do not know where this towering man had come from. Switching the accent all the time, accidentally. Back then I thought I had survived the brute's attack by mere luck, but now I'm sure it was the sword's decision. Zador Mikosta betrayed its owner because it wanted me to obtain it. As unusual as it might be for a mage to wield such a weapon, I feel that the sword belongs to me as much as I belong to the sword. Various books I have read indicate that Zador Mikosta must have gone through many hands in the past, restlessly searching for its counterpart, the Book of Souls. I believe it is the sword's destiny, and thus mine, to destroy the book. Now that the necromancer Kadar has stolen this very tome, I shall use the sword to put an end to his depraved experiments. Tonight. Akrab, 7th Mage of the Dawn. Friggin' whatever, man. This episode is going to be a long one, because I say so. Here, I've just stated something, and thus it was written and shall be done, so... this will be the end of the episode already. I mean, what kind of...
Do you understand now? A demon that goes by the name of Narsal took hold of you and made you kill all those innocent people. You, Garrett, are what the newspaper calls the Mad Beheader. From the little research I could gather beforehand, I'd learned about the demon's origins. It all started many decades ago with an overconfident mage apprentice. Despite his master's warnings not to meddle with beings from other worlds, the apprentice intended to summon a demon and bind him into 2 items, a sword and a book. However, the young mage had far underestimated the demon's power. His spell was too weak to bind Narsal properly. His essence was imprisoned into the 2 items, but instead of being a passive enchantment, the demon had partial influence over whoever owned the book or the sword. As a result of his foolishness, the apprentice lost his sanity. He gave the 2 items away, ending his life shortly thereafter. You see, when you destroyed the Book of Souls with the sword, you allowed the demon that had been trapped within the pages to enter you. Unfortunately, we cannot destroy the sword. Part of the demon still remains inside the weapon and protects it. However, if we manage to drive Narsal out of your body and prevent him from finding another host, the blade will shatter. We have little time left. You must act quickly.
What can I do?
I have placed several items on the table here, along with a note that explains what you need to do. I cannot stay here to help you. I must do further research. Just read the note carefully and follow the instructions. Farewell, Garrett, and good luck.
Amazing looking graphical effects in this game. Okay, wow. Follow Keeper Leonard's instructions to get rid of Narsal after you've completed everything. Okay, well that's it. Okay, well now. Instructions. Oh wow. Is it more text? That's incredible. That's amazing. Oh my god. In order to banish Narsal back into his own realm, you need to accomplish 2 things. First, you need to die, as a demon can only reside inside a living host. Second, when Narsal has left your body, we must ensure that he cannot find another host in time. As paradoxical as it may sound, your death can be arranged without you having to die. All you need to do is prepare a so-called nightshade potion and drink it. This concoction temporarily puts its drinker into a very deep sleep that can't be distinguished from death. This should fool the demon long enough to be driven out of your body. Without a host, a demon cannot exist outside his own dimensions for long. And must find another physical body to enter immediately. Thus you have to drink the potion in a secluded place. We also have to take into account that Narsal might discover that you are not really dead and attempt to re-enter you. Yeah. To prevent this, you must stand in a protective circle that can shield you from Narsal once he's been expelled. I've provided you with the recipe for the Nightshade Potion. It lists all required ingredients and describes how to prepare them. I've also added some notes that should help you find everything needed. I couldn't make the potion for you in advance, as it only works on the one who brews it. When you've created the potion, head for White Cathedral. Fortunately, it is currently empty and secluded enough to prevent Narsal from finding another host. I've installed a protective circle inside the cathedral, which was that stone slab, if you remember. In order to activate it, you need to find fresh roots from a darkwood tree and make sawdust out of them. Sprinkle this sawdust into the fire behind the circle. Once the flames have changed their color, the circle should become active when you stand in its center. Drink the Nightshade Potion there and get rid of Narsal once and for all. Good luck, Keeper Leonard. White Cathedral key. Oh, let's unlock a key. No, there's like an herb package. Let's smoke it. Okay, ingredients of blend of the following herbs. Blah, 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 yeah, contains all the herbs and herb package. That is your blood, of course. Yes, I need my blood. The ingredients must be dropped into active Deathwatch fountain. Deathwatch, for some reason. This sounds like a freaking metal band. There's one in the catacombs underneath Arford streets. I just need to activate it, and I know how to do that. I've got the equipment for that already. Blah, blah, blah. The blood of the drinker needs to be spilt. The blood. By cutting his hand with a sacrificial dagger. You'll likely find an appropriate item in the museum. Yes, I gotta do that next. Fill a hollowed chalice with the liquid when it is simmering. Hammers left a chalice in their quarters near White Cathedral. Just drop the cup into the Deathwatch fountain and pick it up again. The effective seeming death lasts for up to 2 hours. Narsal won't be able to remain outside a physical body for more than a few seconds. Well, you know, I was gonna just play a bunch more, but I mean, that was a lot of reading. I mean, I'm at like 17 minutes over now. Hey, you. This is turning into just a BJ fest. Don't misread that. But, yeah, that's the same note I just saw. I guess I'll just go up here and do this last for a bit of, like, capping it off with something that's actually a bit action-packed-ish. Unfortunately, the surprise got rather spoiled. It's pretty creepy, like, what's up there? And this elevator got broken. Sabotage, perhaps some foul play? That pun is just made all the time. Well, I mean, puns involving the word foul are made all the time. Not gonna make... Damn it. And like... Oh, come on. Get out there. Clang.
What happened here?
Good thinking. You don't want your name getting connected with these murders. I only just found out you could do that just like by... I don't know, I read the guy's website or something. Anyways, it's 0928 that I got to punch in, so... 0928. There's a punched card. Oh my god, F that!